Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Words of Heart podcast. I am your host, Dion Sanchez, and joining me in this particular episode is Katie Chonacas.
Chonacas. Hi.
I was so close.
Yeah.
Hi.
It happens often. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I am great. I am so pleased for you to be on my podcast. It's been a long time coming, so I'm very pleased for you to enlighten my audience. So if you could, would you share with my audience a bit about yourself and the multi-creative spirit that is you?
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I was raised in Michigan, outside of Detroit in the suburbs. My family's Greek Orthodox Christian. So I grew up with Greek roots and language, and growing up going, to church, listening to Motown and the harmonies and the melodies, and with Greek mythology and poetry, a lot of Socrates and Aristotle. And so I was really just taken and very soulful and very in tune of my intelligence of my body. And my yaya, it's my grandmother, she's my best friend. It's who I'm named after, Kyriaki, Saint Kyriaki. She's a saint in the Greek tradition. She was a martyr, and also it means Sunday in Greek. So Simera ina Kyriaki, it's today is Sunday, or then ina Kyriaki if you're not listening to this on a Sunday. So it was really wild because I was born with two names, my baptismal name, Kyriaki, and then, my mom didn't want people making fun of me at school and stuff. So they gave me a more, traditional American name. So Katie. So in acting, I go by Katie Chonacas in acting. So I act on TV and in the movies, and I do voiceovers, animation, cartoons, commercials, video games. So much fun. It's great with technology because you can be anywhere in the world and travel and have a home studio. And so I, was a poet growing up, and so I have a lot of poetry pieces, which led to my poetry book, A Lover's Fairy Tale. And I grew up in the Detroit music underground scene. So not only did I have the Motown vibes from my mom and, growing up in Detroit, but also all the DJs from around the world, like the best DJs came to Detroit, Detroit and Berlin are the twin towers of music, of EDM music, techno. And so I was a kid going to all these rave parties, and it was so much fun. And I was chilling with all the biggest DJs, side by side, it wasn't like paparazzi and stuff back then. And so that kind of put me on my musical journey. Yeah, so it's kind of in a nutshell some about who I am.
Awesome. So you mentioned you came out with a new book. Do you mind sharing a bit about what that particular book is about? Because I'm a real lover of poetry, so I would love for you to share what it's about or what it symbolizes or the theme. And if you could share one of the poems, that would even make my night, truly.
Oh yeah, of course. One poet to another, for sure. So do you want me to recite a poem first, or share the story first?
You can share the poem first.
Okay, I'll share the poem first. Okay. I need to get some water. 2 seconds.
No worries.
You there?
Yep, I'm here.
I got something caught in my throat. All right, here we go. Which one? We sent you the book, right?
You did send me the book. I didn't get a chance to go through
it. I'll pick one. Okay, here we go. Numb. Soul searching. What? What? How you feel. It's so numbing, stone cold. A faint distraction in the wrist, brain and hands. A new direction, ready but not sleek. Never too clear, never to speak. A leap through, a new day. I sit here and contemplate reality. What is really going on? Why? For how long? What will become? Will the truth shine through? Will it be real or just another story tale of who knew? Numb, I cannot speak. Numb, I wish to peek. A somber, joyous moment, can it be true? How will it be? Who will turn? Who will see? I've been out of touch, but rising and learning a new way of life, a new way of being. Take it to the heart. People who care so much about me, who are honest and give me such pleasure. Always educating, always a fun way to play while sitting there learning, loving each and every day. Take each moment for the moment. Because as we all know, nothing, no matter how gelling of a feeling, no matter how high one can be, the dark days are for us to see, feel, and learn from. Such hope, such laughter with the ones you love. You think now and back of hopefully the good times to come. I clench my teeth. My body feels weak. Who really cares? Who's to blame? Who to look to for hope and guidance so one does not fall and scrape her knees, bleeding so badly that it never heals. In the art of her beauty, in the description of her eyes, I look to you and I find no surprise, and I seek for you not. One let down after another, get used to it. When it's up, it's up. When it's low, it's low. How low will you go? What is low? How low? High? How high? Really? Have you seen this and that and everything in between? Look to me, you have never seen the distance in which I am to become. A thought of mishaps, a forgotten butterfly, flying, 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 and flying.
Awesome. Oh, please share how you came into that poem and all the other poems in your book.
Sure. Well, this piece, is the darkest piece in the book, because The Lover's Fairy Tale is about a whimsical fairy tale of love, unconditional love, of self, of life, of beauty, of nature, of everything. But although that is called numb, which is like someone being numb, like physically numb and not attached to feelings, there was still so much joy in that experience because of the people who were around me that educated, that enriched me, that was able to see me and my higher self and have me experience things that that weren't my circumstances growing up. It was a gift, right? So there was still a lot of deep gratitude and love, although I was feeling what I was feeling, in that piece. But it's all about love. And I was celibate for 7 years. I traveled the world. And I chose to have a relationship with myself, and I chose to have a relationship with the universe and with God. And I didn't want to be tainted in any way by a relationship or my emotions messed with, right? I saw sensorially a lot of girls and guys fuming, raging, upset, crying, breakups, this and that. And it was just all a distraction, and I didn't want anything to do with it. And life is such a gift, and it's like we often give ourselves to other people and do sacrifice and do things for others instead of experiencing the life that we've been gifted first. So I made a choice very young to fill up my cup and to receive the gift of being here, because as a woman, as a creator, when I decide if it's supposed to be for me to have children, it's not about me anymore. It's about them. So I wanted to work out the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between before I had children, so I wouldn't project it onto them, so I wouldn't have regret that I didn't fulfill my own cup, right? not to say that's everyone's story. That was particularly my story. So I traveled, I was in Dominican Republic, and I was around dolphins and elephants and, tigers and, Bermuda. And I saw things, where people turn blind eyes and don't talk about things, and just the essence of like nature and flowers and food and culture and people. I really honored that, journey, sensorially, of the nirvana and the ecstasy and the essence of what I was gifted and that I experienced. And I wanted to, one day publish a poetry book. And, when I was 12, there wasn't Amazon, there wasn't self-publishing, there wasn't even YouTube. Right. And so I went on my journey, and it came full circle where I'm usually a kid in a candy store. Where's one place that I've always wanted to go that I haven't been? But because of what was happening in 2020, in 2021, I wasn't traveling. So I pivoted the quality of the question. Instead of, what's one thing I wanted to do that I haven't done, I said, what's one thing I've always wanted to do that I haven't done? So I said, I've always wanted to be a self-published author. I always wanted to, have a poetry book. So that was my birthday, 11/11 of last year. And, in 2021, in 2020, it's you kind of forget a year, right? You kind of just, a year just kind of like didn't, it's right. Like, what happened to it? So that's what I decided on my birthday in, November 2020. And so I gave myself a hard stop, a few months, and then the spring, and it was World Poetry Day on March 21st. So I'm like, oh, how apropos, let me release it on World Poetry Day. I gave myself a hard stop, and I did all the research and everything in between to have it prepared, to start messy and just go for it. And whatever would be. And it's been continually living within my heart and my soul this whole entire time. It's so beautiful because it's not just like something that's outside of myself that you have an experience that you do and it spiritually lives with you. Like right now I'm talking about it like it just happened yesterday, because it continues to grow and it continues to evolve to be a part of my story. And it was so, I guess difficult, and it's difficult for people to get on the train tracks to, get in tune and in line what makes their heart strum, so I already have my second book, third book, fourth book ready to go. Like once you do one, it's like a domino effect. So I'm ready. I'm ready to go, So that's kind of like some stories about the book. Lastly, I guess what I want to say real quick is I know a lot of people aren't as adventurous as I am. And so through education, through literature, we can travel the world and go to so many places while just staying in our hometown. So, it's for the introverts and people who maybe fear to get on a plane, or you can't go on a plane, or, for people who explore the world in different ways, so it's really beautiful because it's really for everyone.
Awesome. And I truly admire you for quite specifically to remain celibate and focus on yourself and being connected to your spirit and your body and not poisoning it or tainting it. I am a Christian, so I do believe in a higher power also. So we are being told to treat our body as a temple. And I, for one, am a very beautiful woman. And I would be lying if I said guys didn't try to take advantage of that because of my looks or the fact that I'm a good girl and they think, oh, she's a good girl, she'll do whatever we say. That's not the case. For myself and my own womanhood, I chose to stay a virgin. I believe that particular, I hope it's not glitching. I believe that step as far as sexuality and sex should remain in the confines of marriage. And from my own experiences in life, I understand the ramifications of doing it before marriage and perhaps after. Of course, wherever your path may lead you, that's your path. But I do believe focusing on yourself and embracing who you are and loving yourself is far more important. And before you can love anybody, you need to love yourself. And
I love that. Yeah. Love that.
I, for one, have come to the realization that being single is a real thriving moment, even though many people don't want to think of it that way. Because I can understand the wanting to cuddle with someone. I get that. But I don't think I would have been able to thrive and prosper as much as I have, particularly with my podcast in general, if I was in a relationship. So
Yeah, I really appreciate your words. You're a rare gem, and that's wonderful. And you're glowing. And yes, I love that your voice of being an empowered woman. And it's your choice. It's your body, your choice, and it's your life. So whatever you want to do, you know. So I know everything has its up and downs, and the sacrifices and the fear of missing out and all that. But number one, health is wealth, right? And thriving and happiness is our number one too. So I honor you and your choice. Thank you for
thank,
sharing.
thank you. In regards to the poetry, I can understand it taking you to a completely different world. I've written quite a bit of poems. Two, was it two? Yeah, two of them have been published out of the many I've written. So I can understand poetry taking you to a completely different world. I like to think of it as like my alter ego or my superpower, because I can really expose my emotions in a wild and free capacity. And some people might find my poems a bit shocking, but it's just a different side of me and my story, and just expands to a more beautiful and perhaps slightly maybe adventurous in a metaphorical sense side of me that I have no way of expressing in a normal setting. That's the gift of words. And I just love that you understand it and dive into it and just pour all your emotions into it, because I do the exact same thing as well. And I just admire that we share that connection of poetry, and just so grateful that you understand that. And I also believe you are a musician.
Oh yeah, but first and foremost, if you would please share a poem or two with me,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
yeah, because I would love to. I would love to. If you want to recite a poem or send it to me, I would love to read your poems.
I do have some on my phone. It's not alien to me to share my poetry on my podcast. I did it for like the whole entirety of the first season. So,
Cool, very cool. Yeah,
so
but what you were saying, like poetry, like language, language is the sound, the vibration of the word. It's what we have. It's, the word. It starts with the word.
so I'll read this one. I wish I could remember the title of it. It's probably titled on my computer, but I'll just read this one because it kind of connects to what we just shared as far as empowerment and appreciating one's beauty. So, as you strip away the petals of my innocence, the balance of nature retaliates. No longer will my heart continue to bloom, for the radiant beauty of my flower fades away, just as my love for you perished.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens in life, Yeah. It totally happens in life. Yeah. Yeah. I love the opening. Yeah. Very beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks. It was like kind of an innocence, yet that innocence is gone, or type of poem. But I
Yeah.
to maintain my good-hearted nature, and I don't want
Yeah.
that part of me to disappear. So
Yeah, I mean, I've seen through, my journey of people wanting to strip away like an onion, just like peel me, and then I could see it like deteriorating. You almost want to like give into it. You almost want to
right,
like give in and be like, okay, fine, you're right, but then it's like you're almost like sucked into doing so. And then it's all about like reclaiming one's power, right?
right.
So that kind of bridges me to what you were asking about the music. So again, so the year before, the poetry book went so well, and so I thought, again, I'm like, hey, instead of externally, where's one place that I wanted to go that I've never been? I thought, what's something I want to do that I haven't done? I'm like, what can I do that's fun, right? And I thought, um I was going to release an EP for my birthday under the Sophisticated Psychos. Like on 11/11 is my birthday. I have a duo, the Sophisticated Psychos. It's streaming everywhere. Super dope. And I was just going to release an EP of my favorite music, like dubstep, future trap on TSP. And then my music partner Nikki Scorpio's doing his solo thing, and something just happened. I like was in LA, and I'm like, yo, I'm like, my producer hat came on. I produced, directed 2 music videos, got the artist, got the talent, got the people. I went out to shoot a video in 5 hours. It ended up being 2 separate videos. And the EP ended up being 11 songs instead of, instead of like 4 songs, 5 songs. And then I decided to put spoken word poetry with the song. So 7 out of the 11 songs are instrumentals, but 4 of them have poetry, and it's all about women empowerment, divine femininity in all genders, and claiming and reclaiming one's power. Because I am right now, I know how strong I am. I know how I serve. I know who I am. I know my strength. I've always had a deep knowing. I've always known that. And I always saw people like at a disadvantage, or like not knowing their power, and just seeing them like think confused or weak, or not knowing what I knew. And then through the trenches of life that we kind of just shared momentarily, I 1000% like lost, like, I didn't lose my power, but like just like got lost. And so like now I'm on this journey of like, reclaiming my power, my confidence, who I am, what I want, going for it. So that's what the album's about. And it's I talk about divine goddesses and gods, and I mean, I would love for you to listen to it. Hopefully, we sent it over to you, but if not, I'll make sure I sent it over. But it's streaming everywhere. It's called Dreamland 11/11. So it's my birthday, 1111, Dreamland 11/11, and Dreamland's one word. We could put it in the show notes, and I'll send you the music videos too, so you can see them on my YouTube, Katie Chonacas. But yeah, I did my debut solo album under my birth name, Saint Kyriaki. Yeah.
That's so awesome. And I'm also a November baby also. So there's that.
When's your birthday?
November 19th.
Oh, cool. You're a Scorpio too.
Yep.
Loyal, intense. Nice.
I try not to show intensity. I guess I leave the intensity in my poems.
There you go. There you go. But you said the key word is try. You try not to show. Yeah.
I'm not really an intense person. I like to leave intensity in my poetries, I feel.
Yeah.
Any emotion that I don't express all out, I like to leave in my poetry. So
it's a good place for it.
So I would like to get to the icebreaker game. And no, question. I have to start with the question first, and then I'll get to the game. I don't know why I'm mixing it up. But I feel like the question you're gonna be really good at, because you're just so many creative power ingrained in your body, mind, and spirit. And I'm just so looking forward to you answering this question. So I'll start. So the question is, if you had to come up with a title for where your life is at this precise moment in time, 2021, today, on a Friday, or you're in New York, so it should be Friday there, what would the title be?
Oh, I mean, the first thing that pops up is just Renaissance person. Complete Renaissance person.
Renaissance. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a really interesting, well, it actually is a pretty awesome era, if I do say so myself, but the whole, I think romance and knights and the whole jousting thing, I don't know if people joust at that particular point in time, but why Renaissance, if you don't mind me asking? Is it the adventurous, lively emerging of the world at that time, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the definition, let's just give the textbook definition really quick, right? Okay. 1 second. So if you put Renaissance woman or Renaissance person, it's a person with many talents and or areas of knowledge. What it means to be a Renaissance woman. What are the characteristics of a Renaissance woman? Charming, classy, well-educated, but seek no fame. Why was the invention of the printing press? Okay, that's something different. So when I was a kid, before I did everything I did, souls would just come up to me, like people I didn't know, and they would tell me, you're a Renaissance woman. That's what they told me, right? And I went off through my journey of life doing what I'm doing. And now we're in blockchain, crypto, NFTs. I'm an NFT artist, and everything I've done, comedy, drama, film, TV, video games, commercials, acting, modeling, music, my photography, my paintings, my poetry, everything. I'm putting it on the blockchain as an NFT artist. And I literally have collections dropping every single month this year. And not only am I having collections of my own artwork, I'm also an art curator where I'm curating my friends. I'm a producer and director, and I have visions. So I'm a projector on the human design. There's 5 different types of your human design. You can go to www.mybodygraph.com. I can send you the link. And and see what you are for free. And I'm a projector. 23% of the population are projectors. They're the visionaries. They're the ones that are the producers who have the vision, who can like connect the dots, like people who connect people. So yeah, so like I'm curating artists I believe in, and friends of mine that I've accumulated over, the last couple of decades, to curate and onboard them into Web3 on the blockchain and drop their artwork and their projects as NFTs on the blockchain. So and I'm a collector. I artwork that I appreciate and people that I like, I'm collecting. So I'm like an NFT collector, curator, and a collaborator. So I'm really, really excited. We're living in revolutionary times right now in the 21st century.
We're like probably 2 or 3 decades away from robots taking over or enabling some type of chip into our heads. But I don't like to think like that, although you are right. We are a world where anything is possible at this day and age. So
yeah, not that I'm going to put a chip inside me, but I saw a few weeks ago there are things out. You can find it on YouTube, but I guess Elon Musk has something that's like a telepathic chip that I think that they said it's going to be available as of next year, where it's like you don't have to pick up your phone to say where's Kinko's or where's Google. You can just, your mind will know and it'll get it for you. That's interesting, right? I thought that was interesting.
It's a little interesting. I saw a reel the other day. If they're gonna put chips into your head, can it be Dorito chips?
Hilarious. Gluten free, non-GMO.
Well, on to a different side of the chip, and that is where I share my title. And that is being a warrior for change. I mentioned a bit before our recording how for the first 2 years of my life, I couldn't hear her talk. So, and I also became diabetic in the midst of the pandemic as well. So we're 2 years into this, which means I'm 2 years diabetic. So when it comes to life, I've been dealt a really not a good hand, if you will. It's been quite rough and not easy. So I feel like a warrior really symbolizes and reflects who I am and all I've faced and overcome. It will continue to overcome from now to this point forward.
I love your title, and thank you for sharing. If I may, I don't want to overstep, but I just have some inspiration. Well, because I do industry coaching for people. But what my spirits tell me when you say that is how you and you can go back and listen, but how you projected it and what you said was that you weren't really given dealt a good hand. Well, that's your script and what you're putting out there. That's your perception, right? So that's your story. However, and that may be how you feel, and you'll continue to feel that way if you continue to listen to yourself in that way or choose that because maybe other people told you that, right? I mean, how did we learn that, right? Unless maybe
Right.
society or someone taught us that. So you can fire and wire and rewire your neurological system and your scripts and what you say. And, it takes time, but you can hack and change that perception of what I see is, right, when I feel like I'm getting something of a bad hand or something that's like unfair or something that, I'm not liking too much. I don't want to say it's easy to go to that place.
Right.
But but I don't want to say it's easy to go to that place because we don't want to go there, but we as humans, we can go to that place. So the opportunity is for growth, right? So when something happens, it's like, we chose this life. It's happening. It's happening because I'm supposed to learn from this. So then I can, once I'm, when I learn from it, I don't need to be a voice for everyone, but if I choose to be, I can. Through your podcasting, through your experiences, we can share with others, right? But I feel like, there's a purpose for whatever happens with you and to every individual.
Right.
And it's how we project that out there, like we were saying earlier, empowering ourselves. So it's like, this is what happened, but this is what I learned from it, and this is my journey. And I'm in gratitude because I'm alive and I'm here, right? So that's the best gift of all, is having the experience of life, like no matter what happens, although we want the best and of course ultimate health for each of us, but we're all dealt something and some things. So what are we going to do with that thing? Make it our strength, right, instead of our weakness.
Right. And perhaps the way I categorize it wasn't the right choice of words. You would think I'd be better with words. Actually, I do have a way with words, but the point of the matter is, any weakness can become a strength. And though I mentioned this several times. From day one, I was not a normal or typical child, if you will. My childhood wasn't easy, nor was it walk in the park. I had to overcome a myriad of challenges because of how I came into this world. And no, not unfortunately. As a result, um, I had to prove a lot of people wrong.
I'm sorry you had to prove people wrong.
Well,
Jeez.
let me go further into detail as far as proving
Yeah.
wrong. The doctors told my family that because your daughter is this way, and this was the 90s, so there was no definition or medical related term for what I had. They said, oh, because your daughter is this way, she is most likely retarded. You might as well dope her up with medication to try to calm her down or make life a bit easier for you. But my family opted not to dope me up with medication, which I think, looking back, of course, I was little, so I didn't have a clue, but I think that was probably the best way to go. It just was a bit rough, and no road is a smooth road. And for me, I just had to work 5,000 times as hard than
Yeah.
a kid my age would. You just have to, get through math, but I had to get through like 5 times as much math or something. And
Yeah.
so I cannot, and I think that's the real joys of me having interviews on here, such as yourself, and just advocating for everyone's voice and not just my own. And I can understand that because, hey, for the first 2 years and now being on a broad platform such as this, and just understanding the depths of one's mind and hearts, and really struggling to fit into this world or society, and how sometimes the world may silence you when it comes to my voice and other people's voices in this platform, such as my podcast. I don't want to be that person that silences you or judges you. I like it to be an open form of acceptance. So, and like, I see you, you're awesome, point blank. So
Yeah, yeah, I see you too. I totally see you, and I appreciate you sharing. And we're not meant to fit into this world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're meant to be weird.
Yeah, we're meant to be how we are, and it's like that's the journey of life, like no one has the same two stories. And I'm really, moved to hear that your parents decided not to put you on those medications to have that support, although there wasn't maybe a lot of information and education around certain things during those times. I know what you mean, because I think, um I was taught about health,
Right.
but it was more about my physique. It wasn't like what mental health, right? So we were mentioning that earlier. So that's it's so important, and it's a practice, like not only day to day, it's hour to hour, like checking in with oneself to see how am I doing? How am I doing? How's that other person next to me doing? So it's really important to have community, and thank God for podcasting now, so we can share stories with one another and demystify false information, and connect more to, make an impact, and get connected with more people so we're not feeling so off and odd.
Absolutely. So on to the icebreaker game, which is my favorite part. And I feel like you're going to do really good at it. But again, it's just for fun. So the game is called Song Association. And your face, how it works is I give you a word. You can either sing it, rap it, yodel it, although I don't understand how anyone could yodel any of these words. Again, my listeners, if you could yodel any of these words, let me know. But until then, you can either sing it, rap it, yodel it. It can either be in the song title or in the lyrics. It has to be an actual song. You can't make it up. Many people have tried to make this game into something else a little bit and change it up, which is really hysterical, but it's not how it works. So,
I'm
unfortunately,
getting nervous over here. I'm like, what if I don't know the song?
it's really basic words. It's basic words. It could be a word on your poster and behind you or something. But unfortunately, this is where the fun part kicks in, at least for me. You don't have the luxury of time. You have
Oh,
15 seconds from the time I give you the word. It could either be in the song title or in the lyrics. So if it's in the lyrics, you have a loophole. So that's pretty much how it works.
okay.
You have nothing to be nervous about. This is all just fun and game. So the first word is heart.
Heart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, oh my God. I totally failed on that one.
It's fine. You could have went with like a I don't know what your genre this song was. You could have went with a Billy Ray Cyrus song, "A He Break Your Heart," or
Oh,
"Quit Playing Games with My Heart." I want to say that's that. Street Boys are in sync. I want to say it's
uh,
Street Boys.
okay.
So
But
you
you know
go
what? Also, there's a band called Heart.
Oh, there's I
Oh man, but
can't
I
say the
but
name
I
of an
couldn't.
artist either. I should have mentioned that too.
Oh, but I couldn't think of any of the words. Heart. Jeez. Okay. Do I get another one?
You do get another one. You get two more. I feel like the next one is a lot simpler, or at least I like to think it is. So
Okay.
the next word is words.
Words.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. Words. Words. Title. Words. Playing games with my heart keeps coming because you just said that, because those are words. Oh, I failed again. What kind of musician am I? Oh my God. I've had a long week. That's why I was wondering. I'm like, oh my God, what if I can't come up with anything? And I do improv. Like, what is going on? I'm like the worst over here. You're roasting me.
I'm not roasting you. Trust me. People can think of a million songs, but 15 seconds makes that one really small.
Freeze, because you want to choose the best option. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. Whatever comes to my mind. No, I froze a couple times. Okay, go ahead.
So there's one more word. You can do it. I believe the last word is beautiful.
Oh, because you're beautiful, no matter what they say. Christina Aguilera.
Awesome.
Words can't get me down. I did it 2 in 1. I did it 2 in 1. Oh, I got a comeback. Yes.
I didn't realize hard words was in that song.
No matter what they say. Yeah. Oh, I got it. Cool. Yeah.
Well, that is the end of the game.
All right, now I think I should just have one more. Just kidding. Stop to it.
I mean, if you did want one more word, I can do it. I mean, I've done it before with other guests who wanted one more word, but I don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if you did want one more word, I could do it. I just don't know.
It's up to you. It's up to John Lennon over here.
Ooh, that gave me a good idea.
What?
See, because I'm getting into old school mindset. Thank you, Dad, for exposing me to all types of music. So the last word, okay, really simple. It's the first thing we said to each other, and that is hey.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Jude, what have you done?
Take a sad song and make it better.
Remember. Yeah. We
did
that one together. So that was cool. What up, Dad?
Beatles are awesome. But
agreed.
We can keep singing Beatles logic all year long, but eventually the Beatles did end that road. So that's the case for this episode. We're at the end of our conversation. Do you have any links with your multifaceted creative spirit? Like, can you share your website where people can find your book, maybe your video? Yeah. Are you going to end up having a movie on the moon at some point with all your talents? Give us an inside scoop as to how my audience can get in touch with you.
Movie on the moon. I love that. Oh my God. I'll dedicate it to you when that happens. Okay. Stick around, girl. So Chonacas.com, my website, CHONACAS, Chonacas.com is where people can find me. It'll have my book, my music, YouTube, all my social media. I am on Instagram. DM me, say what's up. It's just Chonacas, my last name. And then I'm heavy on Twitter too, which is just Katie Chonacas. So yeah, reach out to me, and I look forward to connecting with people more. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so grateful.
Awesome. Absolutely. Thank you for joining me. This was a wonderful conversation, and I got to do a bit of Beatles as well, which is really rare.
Yeah. And I definitely want you on She's All Over the Place podcast. Please come be my guest.
I would love to. So until then, to all my listeners, thank you for joining us on this latest episode of the Words of Art podcast. If you enjoyed it, if you laughed, chuckled, here are the following ways to listen to it on the following platforms. We are on Facebook at the Words of Art podcast. We're also on YouTube under the same name, and wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, and Google. Don't hesitate to subscribe, retweet, send it to the moon. If you are listening to it from the moon, and I say this all the time because I'm a real nerd at heart, if you're listening to it from the moon, let me know. I want intergalactic broadcasting to occur. It is 2022. Anything is possible. But until then, from all of us here on Earth, stay healthy, stay safe. If you wanted to get in touch with me on anything we shared in this episode, you can do so on Twitter. I'm HeartWarrior24 on Twitter and HeartWarrior25 on Instagram. So again, stay healthy, stay safe. From all of us here on Earth, I'm Dion Sanchez, your host. Thank you for joining me again, Katie Chonacas.
Katie Chonacas, my pleasure. Yes, to the moon. I love that. To the moon. Let's go.
Yes, from all of us here on Earth. Until next time. Bye.
Ciao. Bye.